This year, I've been using Fiverr more and more to help out with parts of my business that I'm not exactly confident in yet. From things like email marketing, to SEO, to conversion rate optimization, to running Facebook ads and more. But one thing that I've never done that I know many people like to do and use this for Fiverr is using Fiverr to help me actually create my print-on-demand designs. So for today's video, I hired 4 different Fiverr designers to help me create a design for my t-shirt. And I hired them at different price points so you can see the difference of design and experience between a $5 designer and a $50 designer. In this tutorial, I learned a lot of lessons myself about hiring designers because this was my first time. So I've actually got a little bit of insight to help you get the best results when working with designers from the mistakes that I make in this video. So here are my 4 results back. And what I'd asked for was an unhinged style shirt that said self-care featuring a baby hippo. The price points for these were $5, $20, $30, and $50. Can you guess which one matches up with which price? I had based this idea on a different unhinged shirt that I found on Etsy, and as well I wanted to combine it with the current baby hippo trend. If you have not heard of Moo Dang, go watch Moo Dang videos. They're so funny, but I'm avoiding the word Moo Dang just because I heard they're trying to trademark it. But with that trend, baby hippos just seem to be doing really well to go along with it. One thing I didn't do was give them a reference photo. I wanted to see exactly what types of results I would get and see if maybe they did research to find what was doing well, what types of things look like on shirts. I wanted them to actually see if they create good designs for t-shirts. So I did not give a reference, though I think now looking back at these, if I really had a certain idea in mind, I would have a reference photo ready first. But for the sake of this video, I did not do that because I wanted to see the different capabilities I'd get, especially maybe for some of us who don't do the research. Maybe you haven't done your t-shirt research. You just know you want a scuba diving shirt. You want to test different designers, see what result you're going to get. So we don't always have a reference photo to go from. Another thing I learned when doing these is to really pay attention to exactly what you get with each file. There was one here, and I'm gonna break it down and show you the different listings in a little bit and let you know which one was which cost. But for one of them, I didn't realize that it did not come with commercial use unless I spent an extra $100 later. So when you're going through Fiverr listings, some are very upfront and you get what you pay for, versus some other ones you should be going through the other packages to understand the different layers, because you might not be able to use that first cheap price. Again, I'm gonna have to show you one of them because I did get caught in this one with having to spend a lot more money if I actually wanted to use it. When you come onto Fiverr to pick a designer that actually works for you, is first thing I'm typing in t-shirt design. If you have a special type in mind, like I want a vintage style design, I would put that in retro, just because some people specialize in certain types of shirts. But if you don't know, then you can just look up t-shirt design. And then the most important things to look through are their reviews and through their photos first. You can see this one here has decent reviews. It's a 4.6, which is okay, with 700 reviews though. But looking at their photos, they're not exactly a style that I really want in my store. So I'm not really gonna give this one a try. Versus this one here is a Fiverr's Choice, has a 4.9 with over 300 reviews, decent price. And I really like their photos. This is a style I think that I personally couldn't create myself. So this would be a consideration. But here's where I started making mistakes, is when I actually went into the listings here. I was just looking at the basic package. And one thing I did not notice was a lot of these did not include commercial use. And if I want to use things for commercial use, like for t-shirts, I'm going to need to pay for it. And if you go through their files here, you actually need to pay for the standard package, which is $94 here, to get commercial use. And if you take a look at premium, you also get the source file, add enhanced detailing. This one's not as important, but the standard package for this one is very important. So here are the actual prices for each of these designs. This first one here was $5. Then we have our $50 one, $30 one, and $20 one. Let me know in the comments below if you got this right. But I do want to go through every single one of these and share with you the mistakes I made because I did not compare apples to apples. So this is the price for the design, but again, there were certain points and certain things that different designers did at higher price points that added value, while maybe some of the low ones look very cheap, but in the end, they actually ended up being more expensive. So first here we have our $5 design. Again, I said I wasn't that big on these designs, but I wanted to see what I would get. And what's actually fantastic about this one here was I got two different designs. I showed you one of them, but he gave me two different options. I got the printable file, I got the source file, which is massive, and I got the commercial use, which means I can go ahead and print this on my t-shirts and sell them right away. The issue with $5 designs is actually this was not the first $5 designer I hired. I hired another one who just never got back to me. But luckily with Fiverr, because they never got back to me, it was really easy to get my money back. I just had to hit cancel. And because it was late, it did not charge me anything and I got my money back. So that was a gigantic plus. And then I was able to go and hire a different designer who had more reliable reviews. But the reason that this one was obviously cheaper, if you take a look at it, I'm going to guess that it was made, at least the hippo part was made using AI. So they didn't hand draw it, unlike all of the other designs where I got a sketch beforehand and was able to make changes before it was finalized, which gave me a lot more room to get the design that I liked. But if this is your style of design that you like, it's a great option for $5. And if you show them a reference photo, again, you might get a lot better results. So the next highest design was this one here, the self-care, the all white one here. And this one was actually a wonderful experience. They were the quickest to get back to me. They were 29 Canadian, which equals about 20 USD. So sorry guys, you're gonna see Canadian on my side. But what I loved about this, again, they were super fast. I loved their designs. I can't believe they were listed for 29. But the thing that did get me here was that if the design was only able to be in black and white. So, but the good thing is it already had commercial use. So if you're only creating black and white designs, which I do quite a bit, then this is a fantastic option. Or you could also upgrade, but just to get color, you're gonna be paying a lot more. So again, you need to make sure you're actually reading through the different packages before you purchase so you know what type of end result you're going to get. But I do think their design captured the essence of what I was going for the most, even in just black and white. I want it to be a lazy hippo that obviously wasn't doing self-care, that was doing self-care. I wanted it to be a little unhinged but cute. So I think this one here, the fourth one in the corner down here, the all white one, which I paid $20 for, probably is the one I would most likely use. And now let's go into our $30 one. For the design, I think it looks mostly hand sketched, which I'm actually not that big of a fan. I did like the design itself. It wasn't really a baby hippo though. It's not as cute as I kind of wanted, but like the font and everything, I don't think really matches too much what I would want on a shirt, but matching this unhinged style, I think they did really well still. And I love that it was hand drawn. They sent me the files so that I could make changes and improve it beforehand. But I wanted to show everyone the first round here so I did not add any changes for this video. But again, for the three that were above $5, I got the opportunity to make revisions, and usually in the packages, they list how many revisions you have. But what I love about this seller is I think they actually did do their research. If you take a look at their different packages here, they've broken it out from one unique merch design, and that includes based on a concept you give us. I didn't have a concept, so they were going in blind. But their standard package, which isn't that much more, is a research selling merch design. So they'll actually do the research and then create a design, which is a massive bonus for people. So if you like this style, then I would highly recommend a person that offers research, if that's maybe a step that you don't want to do. And this is 100%, I didn't see anyone else offering this. So I really, really like the offering from this provider. Annie over here with a 4.8 and over 800 reviews. And it said 4-day delivery. She got it back extremely quickly. You can see here that it comes with 2 revisions. So if I didn't like the first option, I could have had it completely revised. And then finally, we have this listing here, which was the most expensive design. And it showed in the design. The design was absolutely wonderful. The detail they put into it. And I paid $65 Canadian, so that was about 50 US, and I got my color design. They did more than 1 to 2 colors for me, honestly, and I love that I got both the PNG and JPEG. I also got some mock-ups, but the mistake I made here, again, I did not take a look and realize that this one was not available for commercial use. I just assumed because it was the most expensive one that it would, and it actually was the only one that did not include this commercial use. And if I went to standard, I would have had to pay the 94 Canadian to be able to get the commercial use. And if I wanted the source file as well, it would have gone all the way up to 138 Canadian, which I'm guessing is around 100 USD here. And you can see that pricing honestly reflected in the design file here. It has so much detail. They gave me the sketch ahead of time. They went above and beyond by offering me more colors than just 1 to 2. So this kind of is the reason that they have so many high rated reviews. They're going to give you a very detailed design. So if you want a very detailed design, then it might be worth it to spend the extra money. If you want to try any of these Fiverr suppliers, I'm going to link all 4 of their bios in the description below, because honestly, for the very different price points, I think I got a reflection, a good reflection of the price that I paid. But the lessons that I learned that I highly encourage is perhaps if you're not paying for the research to be done, start with the research first and give them an example of what you want. That's how you're going to get the best results if you have a certain idea in mind. And number 2, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Take a look at the different packages, because what might be offered in one isn't offered in someone else, and you don't realize you have to pay more than double to actually get commercial use or to get color or to get a design file that you need. And will I be using paid graphic designers in the future? Personally, I've been doing graphic design for so long already. I know how to nail down basic designs. I know what type of style I really like. But while doing this, there are certain designs that I thought I really want to create a version of this that I see doing really well for other people. I want to create my own version that I just personally don't have the capabilities for, versus Fiverr designers do. So I will be reusing some of these by sending them a design that I see doing really well for other people and trying to help them explain how to create my own version of a similar design style for those ones that I don't have the capabilities for. For a majority of my designs, I don't think that this would be worth paying for when I can make them myself, but I can think of many use cases where I should have actually hired a Fiverr designer to help me out when I got stuck with certain designs. And like I mentioned earlier, I use Fiverr for so much. I've used it for so much help with my Shopify store, now designing. I've used it for calls if I wanted to learn about how to do my taxes for my print-on-demand business. I've hired on Fiverr, and it's really been just a secret tool that I've had in my arsenal to use whenever I got stuck. I got stuck once where none of my emails were working. I hired a Fiverr supplier to help me just go into my Shopify and help me fix my DNS settings, whatever that means. Sorry guys, I don't know DNS settings. I'm not that technical, but they were able to fix it in minutes. So it's honestly a game changer. And if you would like to use Fiverr and get 10% off your first order, I have a link in my description and it will be pinned at the top of this comment along with a promo code that you can use for your first order. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.